It is absolutely possible to work less and earn more, or to work less and earn the same or only slightly less income while getting a raise in terms of the time, energy, and margin that you have to spend on yourself and your family. Welcome to the PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in. Imagine this. You wake up on a weekday and don't feel rushed. You have time to make breakfast, enjoy coffee, or even just take a moment to breathe. Your schedule is lighter, your energy is higher, and your income still strong. If you're dreaming of working part-time this year, the time to start is now. Here's the problem. You want more flexibility, more time, more balance, and more of you for what actually matters. But you're stuck, unsure how to make the pivot without losing income, costing you benefits, or compromising your career trajectory. That's exactly why I created Pathway to Part-Time, a 6-month coaching program designed to help you confidently transition into part-time hours without sacrificing your career. And great news, I'm extending enrollment until April 8th, the date of our first coaching call. After this, the next cohort won't open until the fall. If you want to be part-time by the time the school year starts, this is your moment. What you get inside the Pathway to Part-Time group coaching program is 6 months of monthly group coaching calls to guide you through every step of this transition to part-time medicine. The exact roadmap to negotiate your part-time role while adding value and decreasing your hours, accountability and support, because you don't have to figure this out alone. Don't wait to start working toward the schedule you deserve. Book a coaching call today and enroll in the Pathway to Part-Time before doors close on April 8th. Link is in the show notes for booking your coaching call to see if it's a good fit, and the link to join us inside of the Pathway to Part-Time group coaching program. Your pivot to part-time starts now. What if I told you that cutting your hours doesn't have to mean earning less? In fact, many clinicians I've coached have increased their pay while going part-time. The key here, smart and strategic negotiation. This matters because so many providers assume that reducing hours means automatically making less. Employers often default to prorated full-time salaries, where if you're a 0.8 FTE, you're making 80% of your full-time salary. But that's not the only way to structure compensation. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how to negotiate for maximum pay while cutting your hours. This episode includes 4 specific negotiation strategies, including phrases to use in person or via email that when you are making this ask for changing your compensation structure. Stick with me to the end, as there are 2 things you're not going to want to miss. I'll tell you about Susie, a coaching client of mine who increased her income by going part-time. And I'll also tell you how to get personalized coaching to negotiate the best possible compensation package for your specific, unique part-time pivot. All right, let's get started. The biggest mistake I see clinicians make when they accept a prorated salary without questioning it is that they just assumed that they wanted to go part-time so badly. They're so happy that they are getting some time back that pay is sort of a secondary endpoint for them, and they end up earning significantly less than they could. A prorated salary means you're cutting your hours by 20% or 50%, and that you exactly cut your salary by the same. So full-time salaries are often built on inefficiencies, things like excess admin work, unpaid time, lots of things that you're doing that you're not necessarily getting paid for. Part-time work can actually be more efficient and more valuable to an employer, especially if it's crafted in a way that is well thought out. Don't just accept the part-time pivot myth that you'll automatically make less. You bring significant value even if you're working fewer hours. Get creative on how you can work less and earn the same, or work less and earn more. Even if you fall slightly short of matching your current salary, you'll increase your impact and scale what you earn per hour with this transition. This has the impact of softening the financial blow when you're pivoting to the part-time practice of medicine. Employers need experienced providers who can work part-time and still deliver top care. You are to your current employer, a known entity and an experienced provider who needs minimal training in many other settings. So even if you are going to make a change, you don't necessarily need to take a step down in pay to make this adjustment to your work schedule. 4 negotiation strategies to maximize your pay. So the first is to negotiate to be paid hourly, not salary. Salaried employees in medicine, especially those who are in healthcare for all the right reasons, who see that extra patient, who do more, if you are salaried with poor boundaries and you're working full-time plus, going from salaried to hourly is going to make you feel like you got a massive raise. This works because salaried positions bake in this unpaid admin time, charting, meetings, things that you're doing that don't directly generate revenue. Hourly paid means you get paid for every hour that you're working, which leads potentially to more pay, especially relative to the hours that you're working, and less resentment. I truly believe that being a salaried employee with poor boundaries is one of the biggest risk factors for burnout inside of healthcare. So you can ask this by saying, instead of simply prorating my salary, I'd like to switch to an hourly model. This decreases the risk on the practice of me going part-time, and that way my compensation aligns with my actual patient-facing visits and my administrative time. Now, the next option is to shift to a productivity-based model. So if your employer uses RVUs, collections, or billable hours, you can negotiate based on what you personally generate, not on the time that you spend at work. So if you are going to ask for this, you could say, I'd like to structure my pay based on these specific data points: RVUs, collections, number of 99204 visits, ensuring that I'm fairly compensated for my productivity. What this does for your employer is it also eliminates the risk where they're only paying you for the work that you are generating in terms of revenue, so they can't lose money if you're paid on productivity. The third option is to structure your compensation in a base plus bonus structure. So instead of simply going from a higher salary to a prorated part-time salary, going to a smaller base pay with performance-based incentives. So if you're making 120 and the prorated is 100,000, you could accept a lower base salary of 75,000 with a productivity bonus for meeting specific patient volume goals, or a quality bonus tied to things like patient outcome, satisfaction, days worked, number of visits, or new consults seen in a day. It is extremely important, both for the productivity-based model and for base plus bonus, if you are getting paid on productivity, that there is transparency and regular reporting with the data. If you're going to ask for one of these, you can say, I'd love to discuss a compensation model where my base pay is supplemented by productivity or performance-based bonuses. Again, this helps to reduce resentment for you and also insulate your employer from them accidentally overpaying you when you make this part-time pivot. The next is to advocate for premium pay, something like a shift differential or a bonus for filling hard to fill hours. Nurses seem to have this on lock, but many part-time work positions can offer you higher rates for things like nights or weekends, on-call, holidays, high-demand specialties, or if you're even doing PRN positions, they'll often pay more for those, or dreaded tasks like in-basket coverage. So you can ask for this by saying, I'm open to covering those high-demand shifts or those shifts that you're struggling to cover. If it's hard for us to find coverage for them, I'm willing to step in and do that in exchange for this decreased schedule, sort of in exchange for this reduced workload. Can we discuss a premium rate for that evening or weekend coverage? and let them tell you what they pay and let them tell you what the shift differential is. This is sometimes easier and sometimes harder depending on the structure of your organization and who it is that you're speaking to. Now we're going to talk about what to say in your actual negotiation meeting. So it's important to lead with your value. So as you're making this ask, you can say, I bring 10 years of experience and very specific honed surgical subspecialty skills that I believe make me a valuable asset to this group. And then you're going to outline your ideal structure. I'd like to discuss shifting to hourly pay, to productivity, to bonus-based pay. And then you can present some data if you have access to the AAPA or other salary data. Other providers in similar roles earn X per hour or this kind of productivity bonus. And I want you to be sort of strict about the fact that you want to make this change, but flexible about the way that it happens. I'm open to developing a creative compensation model that will work for both of us. If you're honest with your employer about the fact that you want to be paid differently and you want to make sure that it's not a drain for them, say that. I know that this is taking a chance. I know that we don't have anyone in this specific role. I'd like to find a way that works for both of us in a way to structure this compensation. All right, you stuck with me, and I'm going to tell you about Susie's story. So Susie Q, whose name has been changed to preserve my student and client anonymity, worked with me on her pivot to part-time clinical practice. Before working with me, Susie was earning $122,000 a year and working an average of 50 hours per week. So that included hours at clinic and the periodic laptop time that she was logging in her pajamas from home. This worked out to be an effective hourly rate of about $46 an hour. She landed a new part-time position and negotiated her hourly rate to be $90 an hour with a coveted 30-hour per week schedule. In doing so, Susie's life improved and her income went from $122,000 a year up to over $140,000 a year. Her schedule, it went from 50 plus hours a week to 3 10-hour days. When she works more than those 30 hours per week because a patient comes late, because she needs to chart, etc., she earns more as she's paid hourly for that time. So here's what Susie had to say about this shift. My income went up over $20,000 while my hours worked per week dropped by over 20 hours. I never could have, in my wildest dreams, imagined a position where I doubled my hourly rate, but that's not the best part. The best part, I regained control of my time, life, and schedule. If Susie's story sounds like one that you'd like to experience, schedule a call with me using the link in the show notes, and I'll get you signed up for this next group coaching cohort. We're going to walk through the exact pillars that I worked with Susie on to make this pivot. It is absolutely possible to work less and earn more, or to work less and earn the same or only slightly less income while getting a raise in terms of the time, energy, and margin that you have to spend on yourself and your family. Pay structure and strategic negotiation really matters as you make this pivot. There is a way to do it well where you minimize the financial impact, and there is a way to do it poorly where you're so desperate for that part-time schedule that you will agree to almost anything. The link is in the show notes to schedule time with me to see how you can fit into this cohort and what exactly is going to work well for you in terms of making this part-time pivot. I welcome you to join us in that next cohort. That's all for today. This PA is out. Congratulations. You've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.